What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Today we're hopping back into the 5-year rebuilds with the Toronto Raptors, a team that was a 5 seed last offseason, lost to the 76ers in the first round in 6 games, and have honestly a pretty decent core. So in my opinion, this team honestly has probably a really underrated, if not one of the most underrated starting fives in the league. You got Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, you got Rookie of the Year, Scottie Barnes, and then Pascal Siakam, the best player on this team. So the potential for this team to be really good is there. That being said, though, is there really a star on this team that can maybe carry them to a championship? That I'm not so sure of. So our goal today in this 5-year rebuild is to obviously win 1 or more championships. Real quickly before we do get into the video, we are less than 100 subs away. I think we're actually less than 80 subs away at this point from 30,000 subscribers. So if you have not yet, I'd greatly appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel and join the community, as the road to 30K is fastly approaching, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys that continues to support me day in and day out. Other than that, let me know any other teams you want me to see a 5-year rebuild or want me to do a 5-year rebuild with, along with any other rebuild challenges. I'm excited to get back into some challenges real soon. If you guys want to see them, let me know down below in the comment section. Other than that, though, we're in a really good spot right now. Let's hop in. All right, so hopping into year number 1 here, the Raptors had a pretty subtle, pretty low-key offseason. They made a couple of smaller moves that I definitely think will help their team for this upcoming season, but there really wasn't any major moves that sent shockwaves through the league. Obviously, they are potentially still in play for Kevin Durant, so who knows what's going to happen there. But as of now, this is how this roster is looking. So we got Fred VanVleet, all-star, point guard on this squad. I'm going to have him here as long as possible. I'm sure a lot of you know he's one of those guys that typically doesn't regress too much, but he also doesn't progress. So he's 28 years old, kind of around where he's going to be in his career. I'm going to keep him as long as possible, and if we don't need to move him, I will not. We got Malachi Flynn, who's actually been balling out this summer in a whole bunch of different leagues. I mean, this dude dropped, I think, like 70 points in some league this summer. So, yeah, he's a very good, very serviceable backup point guard. We got Delano Banton here as well. Back in 2021, a second-round pick. Could eventually play for us, probably not this first season. Gary Trent Jr. came over from the Portland Trailblazers via trade and is now here, and I'm excited to have him. I think he could be a really key piece of this team. That being said, if I'm being honest with you, he's probably, I hate to use the term worst, but he's probably the worst starting 5 member of this team right now. And, like, it's not a shot at him. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. We'll see what ends up happening with him. I cannot pronounce this dude's name to save my life. I just call him Svi Mikhailiuk, or however the hell you pronounce it, but yeah, he's from Kansas. Back in 2018, was a second-round pick. He'll be our backup shooting guard for at least a year. Small forward spot. OG Anunoby. I know there were some rumors that he potentially wanted to get traded. He's locked up on a really good, really cheap contract, honestly. So I'm going to try to keep him as long as I possibly can. A really underrated defender, I think, here in OG Anunoby. So we're going to see if we can work with him. Otto Porter was a free agent signing for them this offseason. It was a 2-year deal with a player option for the second season. I think he just won a championship with the Warriors. It was a good role piece for them, good rotation piece. We're going to have him here in Toronto, see if he can help us do the same. We got Scottie Barnes, Rookie of the Year. We're not getting into the conversation of if you think Scottie Barnes deserved Rookie of the Year or not. Obviously, there were so many talented rookies that probably all deserved it last season. That being said, Scottie Barnes, one of the top 2, 3, whatever the hell you want to call them, rookies from last year's class. You can call him number 1. I don't really care. You can get into that, but he's going to be a building block for this team today. Only 21 years old. It's insane. Chris Boucher signed a 3-year extension with this team in the offseason. Super excited to have him. It's honestly not too much money. Funny enough, it might be kind of the one time when I'm re-signing a guy that he actually asks for less money than what it actually is requiring that I pay him, because you can actually get him for around $8.5 million per year. And his real contract is worth more than that. Typically, it's the exact opposite. Thad Young also came back on a 2-year deal. That being said, I only need 2 power forwards, so Thad Young's probably the odd man out here. If we're being honest, if we're doing the math, I just don't need 3 power forwards. This is not a realistic rebuild. This is not what I think this team should do in real life. And they also have Juancho Hernangomez on this team, Bo Cruz. He's not on this roster right now. Strictly because I can only have 15 guys. And it kind of came down to him or DJ Wilson, and depth-wise, it really didn't make too much difference to me. So I kept DJ Wilson, who was somebody else they signed this offseason. They got Pascal Siakam here, NBA champion, all-star center. I'm excited to have him. I really think he's going to be here for the entirety of this video, and I hope to plan and have him. We got Preston Chua at the backup center, only 23 years old. Came over, I believe, in a trade with Miami. It was the Kyle Lowry one, I believe, correct. Birch is here. I cannot pronounce his first name for the love of God. Is it Kahem? I think it's Kahem. I'm just going to call him Birch. Third center in the rotation. Again, don't need a third center, so he's really probably not going to play. Christian Koloko was a guy they drafted in the second round of this past year's draft from Arizona, 7'1". Definitely eventually could get some playing time. Again, Preston Chua is only 23 years old, so there's really no reason to need to move on from him. But that being said, eventually, if he asks for too much money, I think Koloko is a guy that can definitely go ahead and get some minutes. They also signed DJ Wilson for depth or I don't know, God knows what reason. But he's not going to be playing. These three guys are not playing at all. I'm actually going to send Koloko down to the G League for the first season. Maybe we can develop a little bit down there. But that being said, let's set the rotation before we do start sim year 1 here in Toronto. This was a 5-seeded team last season in real life in the Eastern Conference. I'd like to probably be around there. I don't think this team is better than the Celtics or the Bucks or the Sixers or the Heat, but still a very serviceable team, still a team that can definitely be competitive. That being said, we'll definitely get into some moves. This is a 5-year rebuild. We can pace ourselves. It's going to be Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, the bench unit, Malachi Flynn, Chris Boucher, Precious Achiuwa, Otto Porter, and Svi Mikhailiuk, or however the hell you pronounce his name. So it sucks I'm not getting like Birch and Thad Young and Delano Banton even minutes. Again, a really deep team, deep roster, but I just don't need to play all these guys here in a 2K rebuild. A lot different in real life, but that's how it works in the game. I'll see you guys at the end of the first season here in Toronto. The first season wraps up, and we are a 6 seed here in the Eastern Conference. So kind of around where I thought we would be. I mean, I would have preferred, 4 or 5. I can live with 6. We're not in the play-in. Good enough for me. Luka Doncic, triple-double MVP. No surprise there. Chet Holmgren, Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons, 6-man. Giannis Depoy, PJ Washington, Most Improved. Willie Green, Coach of the Year. Pelicans are ready to fire. All right, let's take a look at the standings. The Hawks actually come out as the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. We are 43-39. Not exactly the best record. I typically like to be around 50 wins, which would have been good enough for a 2 seed, but hey, I can live with it. We are only in year 1. Let's take a look at the numbers. It was Pascal Siakam leading the charge. Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, Malachi Flynn, Achiuwa, Boucher, Svi Mikhailiuk, Otto Porter. You got Delano Banton down there. So yeah, I think one of the really good things about this Raptors team is they're really deep, and there's really a lot of talent on the squad. So I think this team has the potential to go decently, I don't want to say decently far, because I don't think they're a conference final contender next year. They're definitely not a finals contender. Let's just be honest with each other right now, unless they trade for KD. I don't know. I think maybe second round is kind of where you cap this team out, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's further than where most teams cap out. Let's take a look at the New York Knicks, who are somehow a 3 seed here in the Eastern Conference. D. Rose, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. They added Jalen Smith somehow. And yeah, good team, but you're not a 3 seed. That being said, we're losing right now. We are actually now we're 2-2 with them. We go down 3-2. We're going to a game 7 here, and we lose in the first round. Congrats to the Knicks. I honestly have no idea how that team was a 3 seed, and to nobody's surprise, the Pelicans go on to win the finals in the first season, and Zion Williamson at the age of 22 is your finals MVP with that stat line. So the first season is officially over. We are on to our first offseason, which I am definitely very excited about. We definitely don't have any picks in the lottery, but we can still give it a look. I'm pretty sure I just saw the Thunder logo about 4 times, actually 5 times. And the Pelicans are currently projected the number 1 overall pick from the Anthony Davis trade with the Lakers. At least it falls to 5. That's some of the good news. All right. Bulls, Spurs, Suns, Blazers, Pelicans, your top 5. I'm always surprised about this, how the Suns just end up being so bad in these rebuilds. 2K, there's something weird with the system or something with the Suns. They always suck. And I did a rebuild with them the other day. I did a 5-year rebuild with them, and they sucked for me even, which was really weird. I don't know what's going on there, but it is weird. Nick Nurse, who is a very good head coach, I plan on keeping him probably for the entirety of this rebuild unless something goes terribly wrong, but I don't foresee that happening. We do not have our first round pick this year. I'm interested to see who does have it. It is the San Antonio Spurs. Now, is that from the Kawhi Leonard deal? I'm assuming it probably traces back to that because I can't really think of any other trades besides that. But, yeah, that's got to be the last pick they have from that deal. That was years ago at this point. So we don't have a draft pick this year. It's unfortunate, but I can live with it. Team player options. So Scottie Barnes, obviously coming back. VanVleet declines. Trent Jr. declines. Achiuwa can come back. Otto Porter is kind of gone. He's 30 years old. He's only going to continue to regress. I mean, it would have been nice to have him. He's not a bad bench piece. But so, yeah, obviously Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr. are my main priorities right now. Delano Banton, I'll give the qualifying offer too eventually. Maybe could hop into the rotation, but we'd like to keep him on the team for now. Yeah, we don't have any cap space, so we're basically just playing out. Oh, wow, we can't re-sign Gary Trent Jr. That sucks. Actually, yes, we can. This game loves just letting me do this. And then we're also going to pay Fred VanVleet because I'm not just going to let these guys go. So, honestly, not bad contracts for either of those guys. I think I'll check in on the 3 that we haven't given contracts to, but Trent Jr. and Fred VanVleet were obviously my priorities. It's going to let me pay Otto Porter Jr. if I want to. Honestly, I'll give him the contract. It's probably not the best deal in the world, but it's one I can kind of live with. Is Mikhailiuk here as well? I don't think I can pay him. Let me just check in on that. I know a lot of you said look up his name. I'm pretty sure it does the same thing if I just find him right here. No, I do not have the money to bring back Svi Mikhailiuk. Hell, I can't pronounce his name anyways, so probably time to move on anyways. That being said, I don't know if I necessarily want to make the upgrade now with Gary Trent Jr. He's not a bad player at all. I don't want to sit here and tell you that I could not maybe win a championship with him, but I think if we're going to trade somebody in the starting five, it's either him, maybe Fred VanVleet, or obviously maybe OG Anunoby as well. But I think we probably can't win having all three of those guys in our starting five. Our front court's obviously insane. That being said, though, I think it is time to make some trades. We're probably going to move on from a guy like Birch, probably DJ Wilson as well. Really not sure what that depth signing was. And probably Thad Young, who's now 35 years old and making $8 million as well. So we do need a new backup shooting guard. Hopefully somebody can help bolster the bench a little bit. Let's see the trade we can come up with. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are offering me this deal for these three players right here, who I was going to move on from all of them probably anyways. Birch is expiring. Thad Young is just old. DJ Wilson's useless. So this first-round pick is actually from the Houston Rockets. They actually tend to turn out to be pretty good. I mean, if you look at this roster right now, you might not think it's the best team in the world, but I think there's definitely the potential because they typically do tend to sneak into the playoffs by year two. Latest typically is year three because guys like Green and Şengün and obviously Jabari Smith Jr. continue to progress. So it makes me a little nervous maybe making that deal right there. So what I'm going to do instead, I believe they have the Clippers first-round pick. I'm going to actually ask for this Clippers first-round pick because sometimes they end up sucking, and I don't really know why. This is definitely a big risk because obviously Kawhi and Paul George doesn't necessarily translate to a team that just sucks. But do they have their 2025 first? I mean, this is just ridiculous. Look at this. It's absolutely insane. They do have the Clippers first in 2025 as well. Can I actually get both of those? Wow, they agreed to that. Simple enough. We get that deal done. So if it's not this next season the Clippers suck, the following season they'll almost definitely suck. So that being said, we didn't necessarily pick up the shooting guard we were looking for. I don't mind signing somebody for a year. I think Ty Jerome was never going to be an answer for me in this rotation. I think the only reason we traded for him, make the money work, or they just wanted to get rid of him. But fortunately, I can just get a first-round pick for him. And that is what I will do. Now, shooting guard spot's not going to be the best backup in the world. I think Devontae Graham, man, I don't want to say he fell off, but like when he left Charlotte to sign with New Orleans, like this is an insane season. And I know these numbers aren't necessarily accurate, but like this, he played really well. And I don't really know what happened to the man. It kind of sucks because like even in real life, I know he's not playing super well for the Pelicans. Was he hurt or something like that? I don't even know what's going on, but let's see. I feel like I can probably get a better player than this just from Gary Harris is only 28. I don't know why I thought that man was like 32 years old. Let me sign Nerlens Noel, and then I'm going to trade Noel for a different backup shooting guard. Oh, wait, I can't pay Mikhail. I was like, we have Svi Mikhail. I can't pay him. So let's look at moving Nerlens Noel for a backup shooting guard. Again, this is probably going to be somebody who's a plug-and-play for just a season, and we figured out from there. Grayson Allen, oh boy. Honestly, though, could be a good shooter off the bench for us for a season. It might not be the worst deal in the world. I'm just not a big Grayson Allen fan. If I'm being honest with you, I think he's a world-class scumbag. But he's probably our best option right now. I mean, could go Korkmaz as well. Actually, Korkmaz has low-key been playing pretty decent here for the 76ers. That's only 20 minutes a game. So he'll probably definitely be getting less minutes for us. But that's honestly not horrible. Would I prefer that or Grayson Allen, who's been playing about 25 minutes? Honestly, I'm going to lean Korkmaz. He's not a higher overall, but he has better numbers. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. Second season in Toronto, we really didn't make a ton of changes to this team overall, but what we did do is we acquired a bunch of picks that I think are hopefully going to pan out and be really high for us in the next 2 upcoming drafts. This team did not really get better at all. We're kind of just running it back after we got eliminated in the first round by a team that was probably worse than us. But we're going to go for it. Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. That's kind of the beauty of the 5-year rebuild. I don't feel as forced and as rushed to make moves like really, really quick because I have an extra 2 seasons. So that is kind of where I prefer this, the 5-year rebuilds. Bench unit: Malachi Flynn, Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, Otto Porter, and Furkan Korkmaz, the new addition to this squad. This is a team that, again, really didn't change. Probably not going to go too much further, but another development year for a guy like Scottie Barnes. I think we're in a really good spot for the future. I'll see you guys at the end of the second season here in Toronto. Last season, we were a 6 seed in the East. This year, we're a 7 seed, which means we are in the play-in and we'll be fighting for an actual playoff spot. We really didn't change anything, so I really didn't expect many major upgrades or even a higher seed. But let's see how it turns out in the playoffs. Luka's second straight year with a triple-double and second straight year with an MVP. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year, is in Chicago. Trae Young, because this game's dumb. They do not know how to play him. DeJounte, Giannis, Depoy, Paolo Banchero, Most Improved, Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. Also, I figured a lot of different and rather varied opinions on this, giving the Most Improved Player award to a second-year player. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I personally think it might still be a little too early to give Most Improved to a second-year player, But, like, I don't know. Like, I can kind of get it. I kind of don't, though. Naming Millen, coach of the other Hawks, are very good. So, yeah, we're in the plan. Let's take a look at the standings. We go 43-39, same exact record as last year. Just turns out some other teams won some more games this year. More importantly, we have an unprotected Clippers pick. How did they do? They sucked. They legitimately had the worst record in the league. So we're going to have their unprotected pick this year, which is absolutely huge. And honestly, probably looking more forward towards that than the actual playoffs. Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Scottie Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., Precious Achiuwa, OG Anunoby, Malachi Flynn, Otto Porter, Boucher, Korkmaz, you got Banton. Rebounds, Siakam, assists, Fred VanVleet. All right, let's sim the plan. Who do we got here? It's going to be the Detroit Pistons. Saban Lee, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Jaden Ivey, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Duren, Derrick Rose. That's a very deep team. We're probably going to lose. No, we win. And now we got a matchup here with the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, wait, no. I'm dumb as hell. We're in the playoffs. Oh, I simmed the entire plan. Holy shit. My bad. Knicks again. Dinwiddie, Emmanuel Quickley, Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Look, this Knicks team is good and they're deep, but, like, I don't know. At this point in time, like, hypothetically, just predict. Let me know in the comments. Predict in 2 years. Who would you rather have? RJ Barrett at this point in time, or would you rather have Pascal Siakam? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, best player in the series. Because obviously those are probably the only two real candidates. It's a much different story this year as we sweep them. We sweep a 2 seed in the first round. Now moving on to a 6 seed, who also, 76ers lost. Garland, Okoro, Chetty Osman, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Love, Markkanen, KPJ, JaMychal Green. Yeah, the Cavs are going to be good for a very, very long time in the future. Actually, funny enough, we're gonna get swept, aren't we? Or losing 5, whatever it is. All right, no, we're battling back a little bit. Oh, baby. Oh, my God, they blew a 3-0 lead. Oh, my God. I actually put a poll out on Twitter. I'm trying to, like, talk about my point, and I can't even get to it because we just came back from down 3-0. Who do you think is going to have a better record next year? Not in the game, like in real life. The Cavs or the Raptors? I can see both arguments 100%. I just want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. We're in the East Finals, and we're taking on the Atlanta Hawks. DeJounte Murray, Jalen Brunson. Good Lord. I find it insane that, like, this game can't find a way to get this guy into the starting lineup. It's honestly hilarious. We win game 1. We win game 2. What is going on? Oh, don't blow a 3-0 lead. And we're in the finals. We're definitely going to get absolutely smoked here by the Pelicans because, Zion Williamson. But, like, funny enough, a play-in team's in the finals. And we're up. Oh, don't choke this now. Oh, we're going to blow it, aren't we? Oh, we're going to blow it, aren't we? We go up 2-0 just to lose 4 straight. Oh, that's going to scar me, especially if we don't win a championship in this video. That's really going to scar me. Look, don't get me wrong. That team completely just overachieved. I also don't want to give you guys the wrong idea that I actually think this team's a contender, like, in the game right now. I don't think this is a contending team. I think that was a one-in-the-million kind of thing that we even made it to the finals, and especially getting up 2-0 in the finals. But that's crazy. Now I'm very excited because that Clippers pick is projected to be the number 1 overall pick. And it falls to 5 because, of course, it does. Because why wouldn't it with my luck? So, 5th overall pick. We had a top 5 pick and we traded up for a bunch of bench players that really weren't going to play for us. So, overall W, in my opinion. Nick Nurse is coming back. I mean, hell, he was probably a big reason that we were even in the finals in the first place. So, Nick Nurse right here, beautiful. We're going to go ahead and sign him, bring him back. Thank you for your service. Number 5 overall pick. What do I want to do with it? If we look at this class in general, the 2024 draft, there's some talent and some depth here. I don't necessarily know what I want to do with it. I think maybe getting a guy like DJ Wagner wouldn't be a horrible idea. Not saying I want to replace Fred VanVleet, but at some point in time, you got to get a little bit younger to get better. So it all really depends who's there on if I keep the pick or I trade the pick. But let's just see what happens. Let's sim all the way up to the 5th overall pick. I don't want to trade up to number 1 or 2. I do that way too often. So you change it up a little bit. It makes it a little bit of a more exciting video. So DJ Wagner goes 3 to the Phoenix Suns. Xavier Booker goes 1. Justin Edwards 2. Mackenzie Mbako, horrible names, you know that. Kwame Evans Jr. is here, and he's somebody I've seen progress an absolute ton. On top of that, Ron Holland is here, another guy I've seen progress. If I'm being honest with you, I think it's probably time to move on from OG Anunoby. I think I'll leave him the expiring contract. And I think Kwame Evans Jr. honestly could be the answer. So we're going to draft him 5th. Do we have another pick? Oh, we also have our 18th overall pick. Funny enough, a team that's in the finals has the 18th overall pick. So let's see who's here. We can take a look at it. Grady Dick, I know I've drafted him before, strictly based off his name. Zachary Rizicher, I think I've heard of him before, from France. I believe I've heard that name before. We also are in the market for potentially a backup small forward as well. Like, we just potentially drafted a starting one. We could need a backup one as well. And that's, again, not a shot at OG Anunoby. Just, you got to move something at some point. Grady Dick's overall is a C+. I'm going to trust our scouting department. We're going to take Grady Dick. What's his, stats? His ceiling is Tayshaun Prince, and his floor is Steve Novak. Hell of a career in Kansas. That's absolutely nuts. 3-point scoring is a beat. It's honestly not bad. Let's take Grady Dick from Kansas. Not going to sit here and pretend I know anything about him. Kwame Evans Jr. is a 78 overall, and Grady Dick's going to be a 75. So probably our two new options at small forward. Again, not a diss at OG Anunoby, who does decline his team option. I'm also not just going to let him walk. I'm definitely going to go ahead and try to re-sign him. Koloko is probably going to be my new backup center. I kind of want to play him. We do have Precious Achiuwa still in that qualifying. He's progressing to the point where I think his trade value is honestly going to be high enough where I can maybe trade him and get a pretty decent package. Malachi Flynn, I'd like to get back. Delano Banton, I'll still offer the qualifying offer, even though the man has not cracked our rotation at all. So, wow, this is a big free agency class for us. Who's actually here, like, for like, the stars? Like, Kawhi's here. Can you imagine I bring Kawhi Leonard back? He just regresses so much. Kind of sucks. Anthony Davis here. I'm not going to go out and touch a guy. That sounds weird. Or try to have a contract happen with a guy like Devin Booker, strictly based off if he has a supermax in real life. It's just not updated right now. He actually wouldn't technically be here in free agency. A guy like DeJounte Murray, though, that really interests me. That really does. But unfortunately, to do that, I definitely have to renounce Pascal Siakam, which I probably really don't want to do. So we're just going to re-sign our free agents. Unfortunately, probably not going to spice it up with a huge free agent signing. Siakam does have one offer. It's from the Warriors, not even a real offer. So I'll just pay him that. I'm also going to pay OG Anunoby and then probably going to be in a trade. I'll wait on Achiuwa. I want to get him a real deal. Korkmaz, I'm probably going to move on from as well. So we get Siakam and OG Anunoby back. That's obviously big. We are now waiting on these three right here, and then Korkmaz can go. Delano Ben, I guess. I'll keep his qualifying offer, and we can work on it after this. But obviously, Siakam and OG were the really two important ones right now, and the rest will probably all fall into place eventually. So we're good there. We get those guys back. DeJounte Murray would have been fun. Looks like he's going to go to – wow, he actually has no real offers yet. Achiuwa, I'll give him like 17 mil a year. Again, probably a guy that's going to get traded, and I'll give 10 mil a year for Malachi Flynn's very doable for me. So Malachi Flynn comes back. Precious Achiuwa comes back. Let's work on some trades. Oh, baby, we made a big trade, and we got Donovan Mitchell here in Toronto, going to be our new star, our new starting shooting guard, and I could not be more excited to have him here in Toronto. He's going to be our new starting shooting guard. Super excited to have him here. Honestly, I might go down with a 9-man rotation. I really might. I still kept Precious Achiuwa, who honestly will probably be traded next offseason. I know I said I wanted to play Koloko, but I didn't have to include Achiuwa, and honestly, I'm fine with it. So it sucks giving up Trent Jr. and moving on from a guy like OG Anunoby, but I'm excited to see what Kwame Evans Jr. can do, our number 5 overall pick. I think he does progress really well. And we also drafted Grady Dick. So 2 really young small forwards for this team. We still do have a couple free agents here, being Koloko, Delano Banton. But hopefully at some point they'll just accept their qualifying offers. I'll sit and wait till they do. That being said, though, we have a 9-man rotation. I'm going to do that. I've been way more successful with 9-man rotations. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the start of the 3rd season here in Toronto. Whole lot of changes for this squad here in Toronto, and I'm excited to see how they all end up working out. We were just in the finals last season, albeit maybe a little bit of a fluke run, but we made some upgrades to this team, maybe downgraded at some spots as well. I mean, Kwame Evans, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this man right now is better than OG Anunoby. Maybe by the end of this video he will be. Only time will tell. Fred VanVleet, Donovan Mitchell, super excited to have him here. Kwame Evans Jr., Scottie Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. The bench unit, Malachi Flynn, Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, Grady Dick, and then we got Koloko here. You got Delano Banton here, James Ennis as well. But I definitely especially like to get Koloko some playing time eventually. We'll see what happens with Achiuwa and the rest of this rotation, but he's honestly good enough to start somewhere, so I might find a trade for him at some point. But that being said, this team definitely probably a little bit more of contenders than we were last year. I'll see you guys at the end of the 3rd season. I'm guessing that OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr. are probably laughing their asses off at us right now because we were an 8th seed here in the East. Not exactly where I thought we'd be. That being said, we are also 8 in the power rankings, so that math doesn't really translate, but we'll see. Luka Doncic, 3rd straight year for triple-double and 3rd straight MVP. Mikey Williams, Rookie of the Year. He was the number 17 overall pick. Wow. It's honestly, it's really cool to see somebody like outside the top 5 winning Rookie of the Year. I think it's cool anyways. Sabonis is in LA winning 6th Man of the Year. You couldn't find a way to get him and AD in the same starting 5. Good job. Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year. Chet Holmgren, Most Improved. Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. I believe that's his 2nd straight Coach of the Year. Yeah, also, the Houston Rockets pick was last year, but as you can see, they are very, very good. So, we go 44-38. Technically our best record yet. I think this team should have won a lot more than 44 games, but doesn't always go the way you think it's going to. Donovan Mitchell balled out, had a really good first season for us. Kwame Evans Jr., also really solid rookie campaign. Siakam, Scottie Barnes, Fred VanVleet, not getting really any better. We did add some talent to this team, but I don't know. I might be moving on from him as well. Not a shot at him, just the reality of the situation. I know I've been saying that a lot, but honestly, it's insane how pressed people get from their favorite teams in that comment section. Cade, Ivy, Brooks, Duran, Sadiq Bey, who is what? Kalel. I'm sorry. Where I haven't heard of him before. Bruno Caboclo, Celtics legend. Bruno Caboclo. Let's see what happens. And we win, and we're in the playoffs. We beat the Knicks as well. We got the Atlanta Hawks here, who are, they're a very good team. They finally got Trae Young into the starting five. But this team definitely scares me a little bit. We do win game one. We win game two. Are we going to have a Cinderella run again like last year? We're up 3-1 right now. Oh, don't blow a 3-0 lead. Wow. We end up beating the 1 seed Atlanta Hawks in the first round, moving on to Cleveland, who we also beat last year. They added Chris Middleton to their team. How much is he getting paid? Just interested. Okay, he has a real contract. Sometimes he doesn't always have a real contract. Sometimes he's getting paid like $2 million. All right, so we are currently down 2-1. We're 2-2 with them right now, so we're competing like a much higher seed than a play-in team. I mean, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We got Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brunson, Bruce Brown, KD, Deron Sharp, Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards. Let's see what happens here with the 6-seeded Brooklyn Nets. And I don't know if there's something with the seeding off, but we're up 3-1, and we're in the finals for the second straight year as an 8 seed. So, playing team, but like I'm not sure, honestly. Oh boy. Shea, Giddey, Okoro, Ron Holland, battle of 2 really good rookies. Chet Holmgren, Trey Mann, Lou Dort, Hauser Thompson, Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne back in Oklahoma City. I kind of like to see that. They're a very good team. They're a 3 seed. We're 2-2 right now, so we got a best-of-3 series, and we go up 3-2. I apologize for the random cut that you just saw. I got interrupted. I'm in a basement, so people come in and out. That being said, we're up 3-2 here against the Thunder, and it's still a very good team. What I was trying to say before I got interrupted was that I don't hop in right now because I don't want to get the weird glitch on the exiting screen where it just continues to load forever. So I'm not going to hop in, and we win. We win a championship as a play-in team. I thought this team was a contender. Regular season record didn't show it, but we won as a play-in team. I don't think I've won as a playing team ever, but, there's a first for everything. 1 championship down in our 3rd season. We got 2 years to go. I'd like to win 2 more. Let's hit the draft lottery. That Clippers pick, there's some sort of swap on it, so I don't know exactly what the swap is. I believe it's swap best, so I don't think that's the number 2 overall pick. We do have it. Holy shit. Okay, well, that's another number 2 overall pick, another really high pick that we honestly probably really don't need, but it's time to make a trade. Oh, we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I gave up way too much for him. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you, but we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's going to join Donovan Mitchell in probably one of the best backcourts in the entirety of the league. Yeah, I probably gave up too much for him. I'll show you guys the trade once again. If we hadn't already won a championship, this is never a trade I make, but honestly, I didn't need the number 2 overall pick. I was moving on from Fred anyways. I told you guys I wanted to move on from Achua, and we got a huge upgrade at the point guard spot with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Donovan Mitchell declines his option. Banton Koloko. Scottie Barnes is a huge free agent for us. He will be my number 1 priority. Obviously, do want to go ahead and get Donovan Mitchell back as well. So, does he have any real offers? He does not. So I'm just going to give him that. Hopefully he accepts it on day 1. Boucher, somebody I'd like to bring back as well. And then ultimately, I think I'm going to pay Koloko. He's not interested, but he's restricted, so he has to come back anyways. And then I'll wait on Scottie Barnes and make sure he gets a real offer here. So not going to announce Koloko. Delano Banton can go. I just never found a way to kind of get him into the rotation on this team. But it's fine. I think we're in a good spot. Who is Jalen Harris? I have no idea. But Mitchell and Boucher coming back is obviously really cool. Then I'll wait on Scottie Barnes here. He probably has an offer now at this point, right? He's up here. He's 9 offers. I'll max him out just to make sure he should accept it, but I do not want him to get his qualifying offer, and we're good there. Mitchell is officially back. Now we will maximize Scottie's contract because I want him to 100% be here, and we'll wait on Koloko, who's going to be our backup center, even though it appears to be his overall is regressing because he's pissed off, but that's fine by me. The rest of this team is set. Koloko will be backing up Siakam, and I will see you guys at the start of year number 4. We traded for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to join Donovan Mitchell in probably the best backcourt in the league at this point, I would have to assume. Actually, I mean, Trey and DeJounte. You can have that debate in the comment section if you want, but I'm going with our guys here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell, Kwame Evans Jr., Scottie Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. The bench unit, Malachi Flynn, Grady Dick, Chris Boucher, and Christian Koloko, who I actually gave a real contract to. A couple people have commented it now, but the way I kind of went and did it, because he wasn't willing to sign a deal with us when he just went into the free agency pool. You look up the guy's name, he'll sign with you for some reason. It's a very broken feature in 2K. But that being said, he's going to be our backup center. He's 77 overall. I'd be pissed too if, he basically just had to be here and never play. So that kind of sucked because I think he does have talent. But we're in a good spot. I'm trying to win our second straight championship. See you guys at the end of the fourth year. At this point, Luka's got to be going down, at least in the conversation of the top 10 players in NBA history, because he wins his fourth straight MVP, albeit not a triple-double this year. So a little bit lackluster, Luka. Step it up a notch, if you will. We are officially a 1 seed here. We went from play-in and championship to 1 seed and hopefully championship. I don't really, again, know how we were an 8 seed last year at 44 wins. I'll take it nonetheless. The Thunder, who we played in the finals, added Nasir Cunningham, who was their number 2 overall pick. We obviously traded for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is who they drafted with that number 2 overall pick. Sabonis, 6th man of the year again. Jonathan Isaac, Depoy. City Sissoko is most improved in Brooklyn. Darvin Ham, coach of the year. Really didn't want to give it to Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse has won a coach of the year, correct? I believe he has. We are 57-25. I think this is probably a 60-plus win team. That being said, the talent is unbelievable. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell locking it down in the backcourt. Kwame Evans Jr. taking the next step as his second year is over. Pascal Siakam, Scottie Barnes, Grady Dick, Malachi Flynn, Christian Koloko, Chris Boucher. And, this is a fun squad. Pascal Siakam leads us in rebounds, and Shai leads us in assists. So, we're simming the play-in once again. This time we're not in it, though. We're going to see who we are playing. It's going to be the Orlando Magic, who got Markelle Fultz, Cam Thomas, Hamidou Diallo, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. They got Davion Mitchell coming off the bench. Probably start him over Fultz if that was my choice, but whatever works for him. Guessing he's anchoring that second unit. We are up 3-0. Probably not too much of a matchup or too much of a hard matchup here in the first round as we sweep. Moving on to Cleveland, who I believe blew a 3-0 lead to us last year, or was that a different team? Was that Cleveland or was that the Nets? I know one of the two obviously blew a 3-0 lead. We're up 3-1, and we're going 3-2, and we're back in the Eastern Conference Finals, taking on the Chicago Bulls. If I'm being honest with you, not a team I see here too often. They added Devin Booker. And they have Victor Wembanyama. Those moves like that tend to get you far, and I would imagine that this team is definitely a significant threat to us. We're down 2-0. Oh, my God, we're getting blown the fuck out. We're getting our backs blown out here in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Bulls just completely bend us over and skull fuck us. Not the way that I really wanted to end year 4, but it still happened. The Rockets and Jalen Green, he's up to a 95 overall, win the finals, and we definitely need to get one more. This team, at a minimum, deserves 2 championships. So, we do. Wow, the Thunder are going to have another high draft pick. That is absolutely insane. They really have, how many years do the Clippers picks they have? Obviously, it's from the Paul George trade, but, how many years does that go? Nick Nurse going to remain our head coach, albeit probably didn't coach us the best in the East Finals if we are losing like that. We have the 20. Nobody even wants it. I'll hop in. Just a fun pick. I'm gonna draft the guy with the funniest name I can find. Let's see who's available for us here. Nicolas Ganau, Rob Gibbs, Raul Lopez, D. Coleman. There's got to be something funnier than that. I need something funny. Yuri Kilmov, that might be up there. Melvin Mullins. I don't know why I thought that said Melvin at first, and that would have been a choice. Horace Bass. Oh, that might take it. Sid Smalls. Ooh. All right, we got some good potential here. We really do. Tianchung Lee, Ian Weber. All right, so these aren't even real players at this point. I'm just drafting strictly based off because I want to get somebody funny. Stop giving me these auto-generated names. I need something. Give me something with some spice. I want something with some substance, if you will. None of these are really that funny. George Calmouche, AC Banks. Come on, there's got to be something funny here. There's got to be something, and there's just no. These are just all boring auto-generated names. That sucks. I really wanted to go ahead and do that. All right, who was? There was a couple funny ones up here, I believe. I mean, this dude, Dakilis Ganau. Rob Gibbs, Lopez. Which one did I like the best? Sorry, you're probably just get it over with anyways, dude. I'm going to go Sid Smalls. We're going to draft Sid Smalls with the second to last pick in the 2025 NBA draft. Koa Pete goes number 1. Sid Smalls is actually 70 overall. I'll give him a roster spot. It's either him or some old washed up veteran. Might as well give the young guy the roster spot. Qualifying offers, none of these guys. I don't believe we have any free agents. I think we are honestly kind of locked up with this squad. And, it looks like we are. So, let me just double-check the roster. I will change at least one thing. You guys know me. I don't like leaving teams exactly the same. It's probably going to be Christian Boucher. At this point in time, Malachi Flynn's been a decent backup point guard option. Boucher doesn't appear to be putting up the best numbers in the world. He's also 33. So, let's see if we can get an upgrade for Chris Boucher to back up Scottie Barnes. We're going to get a lot younger here and do this trade with the Philadelphia 76ers. Chris Boucher, 2 firsts and a second. Again, if it wasn't the final season, this is never a deal I make. But we're getting Arthur Kaluma. who is 24 years old, had a decent season last year. I mean, it's not like Chris Boucher was putting up any magical numbers. So Arthur Kaluma, who is, what is that? What's that math on that? 9 years younger, going to be my new backup power forward, backing up Mr. Scottie Barnes. And what pick was he? He was the 24th pick of the 2023 NBA draft. We're basically running it back. I think this team's talented enough too. There was never going to be a major move we made this offseason. So I'm loving this team a lot. Hopefully Pascal Siakam. It sucks to see his numbers going down, but I mean, obviously when you add guys like Shea and Donovan Mitchell, that's kind of going to happen. But yeah, I'll see you guys at the start of the fifth and final year here in Toronto. This team's already won one championship. I am trying to win our second of today's video. It's going to be Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Donovan Mitchell as our backcourt. Very good backcourt. They've definitely both lived up to hopefully the massive trade packages that I sent out to the respective teams for them. Kwame Evans Jr., Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, bench unit. I'm giving Grady Dick the six-man role. You know, I don't necessarily think he's maybe the best player on the bench, but I drafted him. He's kind of homegrown here. I'm going to give him the spot. Malachi Flynn, Christian Koloko, and Arthur Kaluma. Let's see what happens at the end of the fifth and final season. Unfortunately, Luka cannot win his fifth straight MVP. We have to spice it up a little bit. Somehow Zion Williamson is in New York. This might be the first time I've ever seen this man change teams throughout a rebuild. Typically, he's always just been a Pelican, but it's honestly kind of cool to see him on a different team, and he has a monster first season with the Knicks. We are the one seed here in the Eastern Conference, also one in the power rankings. Marcus Johnson, Rookie of the Year in Sacramento. Trae Young, back to the bench. What? How do you kick him back to the bench? Giannis Defensive Player of the Year is in Portland now. Paolo Banchero is in Sacramento. What is going on? Three guys who I've really never seen change teams. Actually, Giannis has occasionally. And Mark Daigneault, or Mark D's Nuts, as I call him, Coach of the Year in Oklahoma City. Alrighty, fun season. We go 58-24, so we don't even hit 60 wins in today's video. Yeah, I cannot believe that you're starting Dante DiVincenzo. Like, they had it figured out last year. I'm really not sure what changed. But, yeah, our team's still super fun, and I'm super excited for this hopeful second championship. Shea, Kwame Evans Jr. turned into an absolute stud. So I do not regret my decision moving on from OG Anunoby at all. Donovan Mitchell, solid season. Scottie Barnes, Siakam, Grady Dick, Malachi Flynn, Christian Koloko, Kaluma down there. Yeah, this dude's turned into an absolute monster. And if we had an extra 5 years, I'll probably continue to do it. Also, you know what? I was going to wait and save this, tell you guys in the next couple of videos when I got closer to 30K. But that being said, we're here. Might as well tell you now. I'll do this while simming the playoffs. I was planning for the 30K subscriber, special, if you will, this is a good team, to go ahead and do a 10-year rebuild. And the way I think I'm going to do it is because I'm going to get probably just requests on requests of me to do their favorite players team. The way I'm thinking of doing it is I'm thinking of doing it in a fantasy draft style. So if that's something you guys want to see when I do hit 30,000 subscribers, hopefully very soon, I appreciate it if you could subscribe. I'd be happy to do it, and I'd probably do it in a fantasy draft style. I think that'd be a really fun way to kind of celebrate 30K. Let me know your thoughts down below. It's going to be a really long video, so if you don't want probably an hour and a half minimum video, let me know. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, come on. Saban Lee and Sadiq Bey and a fucking criminal and Jalen Duren and Jade. Come on. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. You are really killing me. Who is... Wait a minute. What? I don't even know what's going on. I cannot even explain to you what's even going on in this video. That being said, though, let me know. This sucks. I wanted to win multiple championships, but unfortunately we only get one today. But, yeah, one sec. Let me know in the comment section if that's something, if you made it to this point of the video. Obviously, I, one, really do appreciate you guys who stick around and watch the whole video. And then two, on top of that, I want to hear you guys' thoughts who are here. So it's probably not going to be everybody. I'm probably not going to get a ton of comments about it just because obviously viewer retention goes down as the video goes on. But if you made it to this point, let me know your thoughts on that being the 30K subscriber special down below in the comment section. I was kind of debating between that and then I actually got a couple requests for a Q&A, which never really had. I haven't done a question and answer in like years, but that's also, if you guys want to see that, let me know. If you guys have any other homegrown ideas, feel free to comment them down below. Other than that, that wraps this one up. Again, I really do appreciate all of you guys that are subscribed to the channel and continue to support me every day. It does mean a lot to me, and I think we made a really fun Toronto Raptors team here today. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.